In yesterday's episode, I was using these tweezers and I was trying to get this little part to fit on this larger part. And I was just having a real hard time, being able to put the pressure down and then release. And what I want to do today is I want to try these tweezers. And the idea will be, I should be able to, as long as I hold on to it, that is. Now, being as that you're way back, you can't see that I didn't do a real good job of removing flashing off of this little part, but it is just so small that, oh, come on, Ron. Now, in my defense here, these tweezers are very hard to squeeze together. We will get it, folks. Try it again here. Okay, now squeeze. I guess maybe I was sort of afraid of crushing the part. Now, I should be able to hold it at an angle, at the right angle, and press down and get it into the slots and then release it. Hey, look at that. It stays there just by pressure fit. So, okay, well, if it'll stay there without any glue, I'm sure it's going to stay there with glue. Okay, we'll put the macro lens on and we'll try this again, see if we have better luck than we did yesterday with this part here. Although, mind you, we did eventually get it. Okay, I've got our extra thin. And it's not exactly the way I wanted it, but we'll give it a try here. Now, if I can come in a little bit flatter, I can sort of push down. Well, this may not be a good idea, but I can just saturate it just a little bit here. Oh, that was too much. It's always too much, isn't it? Now I'll take my other tweezers. Kind of push that down into place. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Okay, we'll try and do the same on this other one here now. Now that I'm almost finished here, I think I've got it figured out. See if I can get this in my tweezers just right. I have to be so careful not to squeeze it and break it. Now I can come in at a more flat angle. Before I was coming in too steep. Yeah. I should have figured this out on the first one, not the last one. Oh, is this going to work better? No. Okay, there. Now I can put more force on the prongs, if you know what I mean. Yes, that's going to work better, I think. All right, now let's get the extra thin going. Okay, macro lens first. Now I just realized that I didn't turn on my other extra bright light. So I'm hoping that when I was getting my head in the shadow there, that it wasn't spoiling things. Sometimes it almost looks better when I do it like this, but ooh, I'm just having a little bit of a problem here. Let's just get just a little bit of okay, we'll let that dry out. I am wondering if these little parts that we just glued on here were supposed to be at a slight upward angle and not straight out horizontally. It was difficult to tell from the manual. Well, it is what it is. Now, when I had this on the turntable and I was turning it around, I could see a little piece of flashing. Yeah, I think I can see it there. It's right there. I want to see if I can't get that off. No, you probably can't see it. I can just barely see it. Yeah, I think I got rid of most of it. There is going to be a little piece of photo etch go on each one of these. Oh, it's still there. It's not coming off. There, I got it now. Okay, yeah, there's going to be a little piece of photo etch go on each one of these four things that come out the side. Then on top of that photo etch goes another piece of photo etch. But that's going to have to wait a bit. Yesterday when I was painting this, you might remember hearing me sort of complain about the fact that I went a little bit too far down and I thought I got it on the deck. And I said this. Oh, I got it on the deck. Oh, maybe it won't show. Well, I was wrong. It does show. No, I would sooner, if I was going to get it on anything, I would sooner get it on the bulkhead here, because at the angle that we're going to be looking, okay, let's just let that dry. I think that's probably going to cover it. Quite a bit of time has passed here now, and this is dry. What you didn't see was that later on I looked at it from a bit of a different angle, and I could see I didn't really do a very good job of covering up that boo-boo. Well, I went over it again, and I think it's you can see where it is, but we're looking at it much closer than most people are going to be looking at it anyway, and we can hardly see it. So, yeah, I'm happy. Now we got a couple of things we can do here. We can either get the photo etch for these pieces right here, or we can make another plastic part. What do you think I should do? Oh, I think you should make another plastic part, Ron. Well, okay, let's do that. Okay, for this piece here, we need a couple of F-32s, the main piece, F-53, some sort of a base, F-47, and one on the B sprue. You know how sometimes you can see, forms in clouds, like a animals in a cloud. If you're laying on your back in the grass in the summertime and you stare at a cloud long enough, you see something in it. Well, I wasn't staring at this for a long time, but to me, this sort of looks like the head of some sort of a little friendly robot. Maybe not so friendly. There's an eye here, a nose, the mouth, ears. Maybe I've been making model ships too long. I've been by myself too long, that's the problem. Starting to get model fever or something. Off the B sprue, we just need one piece, so we may as well get it first, and that's B30 here. It was just about ready to fall off. Now this part here, F53, our little friendly robot head, as near as I can tell, we only need the one. But there are 3 F sprues, and they're on the F sprue, so that means we ended up with 3 of them. Remember I was talking about the fact that we had an extra searchlight for the Bismarck? Well, it's not that I didn't put one on somewhere. It's a case of they gave us parts for an extra one. And I went ahead in the manual just a few minutes ago. I was thinking, do we need this piece, further on? And I looked really carefully, and I could not see it. Now, this is a very distinctive-looking little part, and I would have spotted it, if we needed it again. I know we have 3, but I'm just going to make the one, unless something goes horribly wrong on my first attempt. That should mean that we have extra F-32s as well. Now it just occurred to me how it is I know that we only need one of these. Well, there's only one B sprue, and so we got the one piece. So we undoubtedly only need just the one piece. Now I'm beating this to death, aren't I? Now here again, I have to be careful. You'll notice this one little tab right here that I'm holding on to. Well, that has to come off flush with the bottom of this thing. But this other one right here, I don't want to accidentally take off that part of the part. Oh, look, there's some sort of if I get the light just right, you can see there's some sort of detailing going on right there. Okay, F47. Remember I was talking about that little part that had the detailing on it? Well, now that I see this base, I can see why it's like that. I believe that part with the detailing goes in this slot right here. Now we only need one of those. Now for F32, we only need 2. We obviously have 6. But I'm going to put the macro lens on because I want to show you the detailing on that, and also, once again, a person has to be really careful where they nip. Now, these very small parts like this have a lot of detail in some of them. There's a couple of little holes there. Be interesting to see what's supposed to go in those, if anything. It would also mean that they have to be glued onto the side of the part correctly. And if I look closely at this round barrel-shaped part, it almost appears to be sort of hexagon-shaped, like it was some sort of a huge nut that a person would, screw in and out. I think that's probably what it is. Anyway, let's make sure that we don't, nip off the peg part. Okay, and we're going to nip well back. Maybe I better go this way. Get the cutter as close as I can to the sprue as there we go. Now we'll turn it the other way. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Now this one here, it almost looks as though the molding didn't work out quite the way it was supposed to. You can see there's a bit of a difference between the two. However, we are so close. I mean, here's my finger. Now I was going to start cleaning off the flashing off these parts, and then all of a sudden a good idea hit me. Remember I was saying there's 6 of these things? Well, surely on the other 4 sprues, or other 2 sprues and the 4 pieces, one of the 4 pieces is got to be better than this one right here. Yeah, every once in a while I amaze myself. Now, of the other 2 sprues, I would say this sprue is the best. Now you'll notice there is a bit of a crack in this one here, but this one here is almost perfect. Now I know what some of you are probably thinking. You're thinking, there goes Ron again, taking extra care to get that little part just right. And then what is he going to do? Smother it in glue. Well, like I said, I sometimes amaze myself. As I'm sitting here in front of the computer right now watching the pages flip by, I spotted it on step 45. Yeah, we do need the other 2. Now they're sitting on top of a different kind of pedestal, so we don't need that B sprue piece. We'll need something else. But anyway, we did need them. I don't know how come I missed them. I said it before and I gotta say it again. Sometimes I amaze myself. Okay, we have some extra pieces here that we are not going to need until step 45. So I've gone ahead and I've nipped them off. And now I guess it doesn't matter which 2 of these we keep right now. If you remember, some are better than others. So, all right, so we've got enough here. There's our B piece. Yeah. Now it's going to be really interesting to see when are we going to need these. Now I realize that it will be on step 45. What I meant was it'll be interesting to know when we need these in that how long from now. Okay. Okay, now this goes in. Okay, this pedestal thing this little round thing has to go down because that has to mount in the deck, obviously. So I guess this will go like this. Yeah, I'll just put a little bit of extra thin in the crack there and let it wick its way in, and don't want to press too hard. You notice the the liquefied plastic there was starting to ooze its way out, and don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff that I have to sand off the bottom, so we'll just let that evaporate, and I think in all likelihood it'll be okay. We'll take a close look at it in tomorrow's episode. I gotta call it quits here for today, so thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.